Hello, everyone. My name is Michele Tryon, and welcome to CHKD Community Connections Take 10, where we invite you to take 10 minutes out of your day to reflect on your parenting journey and consider some strategies that may be helpful in supporting the well-being of your family or students. Today's topic is children, separation, and divorce. This is just a start, 10 minutes of food for thought. I encourage you after listening to continue to reflect on the ideas that are shared, and at any time you can pause the webinar to consider your thoughts, ideas, and feelings about the content of the webinar, and then restart it. Families trying to untangle and redefine themselves. So here are our curiosity questions. How does separation and divorce affect children at different ages? How can you have difficult conversations with your children? And how can you honor your child's experience and build their coping capacity? So time for some self-reflection. Feel free to pause the video, and then we're going to build some empathy for your child. So as you circle around here, we're looking at gratitude in that first quadrant, grief, grace, and growth. So what can you be grateful for? What are you grieving in terms of the loss of the relationship? Where do you need to give yourself some grace? And where have you grown in the process? Also thinking for your child, what can they be grateful for, even if they don't recognize it right now? Where are they grieving the loss of their family as it as they knew it? And then where do they need some grace with their behavior? Uh, we need to allow them to have their feelings. How can we support them and give them a little bit of leeway? And then growth. How have they grown? What are their opportunities to grow through the process? So, how do children express their concerns? With behavior, with words, and sometimes physical symptoms. So, behavior we can see they may be acting out or they may be shutting down. Words, sometimes they will tell us and articulate how they're feelings, but sometimes it may be words like, I hate you, this is so unfair, you ruined everything. So we want to take their words into consideration, even if they aren't articulating in a way that we really feel comfortable hearing, but letting them say their piece. And then physical symptoms. So they may be having stomach aches or headaches. There may be some changes in their sleeping or eating patterns. We want to look at different ages and stages and how it impacts them when there's a divorce or separation. So, with infants and toddlers, birth to 2.5 years or so, what's typically going on is attachment and separation concerns, becoming independent, which happens regardless of the family situation. They're trying to become themselves. So, what do they need? They need a secure, safe, calm, and stable environment that includes sensitive touch and holding and responsive caregiving. So we respond to their needs in a timely way. They need frequent contact with both parents, and they need a reassuring response if they're having trouble with separation. So if they're going from one parent to another, they may have some upset about that. We want to comfort them and then challenge them by saying, you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're safe. Preschool, ages 3 to 5.5 years or so. So what's going on with them? Fear, fantasy, and self-blame. Because they are very self-focused, they see the world from their own point of view. They may have some misperception that they caused, and that's the magical thinking that they caused a separation or divorce. There can be some fears there that can get overblown because they do have fantasy and imaginations that can take over at times. And then there's the beginning of emotion regulation. So we want to encourage them to take some deep breaths or calm down when they're having an upset, letting them know they can get through an upset and get to the other side of it. What do they need? Simple discussions about divorce, basic information like where will I live? Where will I sleep? They need routines and structure to have some predictability and offer them some sense of safety. They need emotional and physical comfort, reassurance that they are loved by both parents and extended family member. There's so many people that love you and are here to support you. They need safe space to play out their fears and concerns or even draw pictures. So they will show you through their play or through their drawings some of their concerns. early school age, so that's 6 to 8 years, there can be some grief and sadness, so they understand the loss. They are dealing with creating a self concept, so how they think about themselves. And much of that is around their competency. So, how do I compare myself to my peers? If they feel like they're inadequate or they're not measuring up, sometimes they can have trouble with focus in school if there's a lot of changes in the family. So, they may be backsliding a little bit in academics. So we want to be reassuring, give them permission and freedom to love both parents, space and place to express their feelings, clear expectations, again, that predictability, support and supervision, and then coaching toward coping. You are capable. Late school age, so the 9 to 12-year-old or so. So at this age, they're really focused in on what's fair and just. So there may be some anger, there may be some side taking. They're beginning very rudimentary logical thinking, much different than the magical thinking from earlier ages. So they're trying to make sense of things. They are developing a gender identity and they're really concerned about fitting in with peers. Am I the only one that's going through this? So we want to, even if we can't appreciate, we don't want to validate their anger or whatever feelings they're having. We want to listen to their grievances. We want to give them time with both parents so that they can build that identity and because of socialization. And then we want to well, they actually do understand that parents are not perfect. So we want to admit if we make mistakes or if we need to make amends, we want to do that. I'm sorry about the way that I handled that. So adolescents, 13 to 18 years, what's going on with them? Typically, family loss and peer group gain. So they are spending more time with friends, even if there's not a separation or divorce going on. They're becoming more independent. The beginning and eventual sexual maturation that happens between 13 and 18 years, and that identity formation. Who am I and how do I fit in? So, what do they need? They need two parents. They are not your confidant or friend. They need you to parent, create clear expectations and limits. Do not parent out of guilt. We want to monitor and coach with schoolwork, opportunities to express their feelings within boundaries so they can't hurt themselves, another person, or the environment. It is okay to feel what you're feeling and to express it. They need boundaries for relationships and sexual expression. We want to create those safety nets for them. And how can we help children cope? So, three important tasks here: thinking tasks, feeling tasks, and growing and doing tasks. So, what are they thinking? How are they feeling? And what can they do or what can we do to help them through? So, what are they thinking? These are common questions that children that are going through separation and divorce ask. Who will take care of me? Is it my fault? Am I the only one? Whose side am I on? How can I get them back together? Is it okay to love both my parents? Am I still me? Am I lovable? So some difficult conversations may happen or need to happen. There's big T truth, little T truth, and lies. So thinking is about giving information. They don't need big T truth. Don't need to know everything that happened between the grown-ups in the family. They do need little T truth. So developmentally appropriate. And they need to know what's going to be happening to them moving forward. And then lies. We don't want to lie about the other parent or pretend that everything is okay if it's not, um, in regards to withholding information that they need to know to help them feel comfortable about what's going to be happening next. What do they need to know? And what have they heard? And that begins with listening and seeing their behavior too. What do they think's going on? We want to correct any misconceptions that they have and give them the information again that they need in order to feel comfortable about what's happening next. So the feeling part, how do they feel about what the information that they've just been given? They need to know that their feelings are safe. So your feelings are safe with me and you are safe with me. I will not dismiss, minimize, or punish your feelings, but I will put limits on your behavior to help you feel safe. So again, you can't hurt yourself, another person, or the environment. I will not make my feelings more important than yours. I will honor your feelings and we will get through this together. And I will not leave you if your emotions get intense. So they need to know that you are going to be with them through the hard times. And then growing and doing. So their ability to cope and continue meeting developmental milestones, we have to have those expectations in place. They still need to go to school, they still need to do their chores. That actually helps them feel safe. And also, how can time together be meaningful? So be positive about their time with the other parent or their extended family members. Remember that the better parts of the relationship with your former partner and try to share them with your child. Allow your child to feel proud of both parents. Children are listening to what you say. Be careful about what you say in front of them or to them. And we don't want to communicate through our children. If you need to, you communicate through a third party. Create a communication plan, texting, a notebook, email. Open up communication with your partner or your ex-partner so that you can share the milestones in your child's life. You can both go to that soccer game or both go to that graduation and not have animosity. So ask your child, what would help? What can you do to help yourself feel better? And what do you need from me? Here's some reading and some ideas about resources. So if you need to, you can pause the video and take a snapshot of this. Lots of books out there that can be helpful. And then create those formal and informal networks for yourself. So maybe join a support group or think about who in your extended family or your neighbors or community or school can be helpful in supporting you as you parent your child or children. So winding up here, consider just one thing. What did you learn? What did you know that got reinforced? What is one change you can make? So remember to stay underwhelmed and practice self-compassion. That's where that grace comes in. Don't try and make changes in everything at once. This is a stressful time for you as well as for your children. I'd like to encourage you to take 10 often, listen to other Take 10 webinars, or check out our many resources at the Parenting Resources and Dads in Action links. Reach out if you have any questions. Remember, your pediatrician is always your best source for questions about your child's health and well-being. And thank you for allowing CHKD to be your partner in parenting. Be well, everyone.